sana leo kwa sababu ya ushindi huu ambao tumepata nafasi ya pili kusherehekea, kwa sababu tulipata ushindi na watu wa Kinangop kupitia kura zao. Sasa tukapelekwa kotini na wale ama yule ambao tulikuwa tunashindana na yeye, na koti limeamua leo ya kwamba igawaje kulikuwa na ushindani katika koti, ukweli ni kwamba uchaguzi ulifanyika kwa njia ya haki na watu wa Kinangop waliweza kusema ni nani ambaye wanataka awaongoze. Kwa hivyo mimi nashukuru koti sana kwa sababu limefanya haki, halijabatilisha uamuzi wa watu wa Kinangop. Kwa hivyo shukran kwa hakimu kwa sababu amekuwa mtu wa ukweli. Amefuata sheria, amefuata ile evidence ambayo ilikuwa imeletwa, na kwa kweli akaona kwamba kulikuwa na a lot of contradictions, na ndio maana siku ya leo ametupilia mbali ombi la petitioner ya kwamba uchaguzi urudiwe. Kwa hivyo tunashukuru sana. Mimi nitaendelea kutumikia watu wa Kinangop, nitawafanyia haki kama jinsi ambavyo nilifanyia miaka 5 iliyopita. Hata hii ambayo iko mbele yetu naenda kuwafanyia kazi kwa roho moja, kwa kuwapenda, kwa kuwanyenyekea, kwa sababu hao ndio wadosi wangu, hao ndio waajiri wangu. Kwa hivyo niko na haki ya kuwahudumia kwa njia yote ile. Kwa hivyo tunashukuru Mungu sana. Mimi kuongea ukweli ni kwamba tunapelekana vizuri na serikali ya rais wetu William Samoei Ruto. Amekuwa rafiki wangu wa karibu, alinisaidia sana wakati alikuwa naibu wa rais. Sasa nimemwahidi kitu moja ya kwamba nitaendelea kumtumikia, nitaendelea kumsupport mijadala yote na mambo ambayo anataka kufanya ili ya kwamba taifa letu liendelee. Mimi nitakuwa pale mstari wa mbele nikimpatia hiyo support, kwa sababu kwa kweli ameonyesha kwamba ni mtu ambaye anatabua viongozi na anapenda viongozi wazuri. Nimshukuru kwa sababu igawaje sikuchaguliwa kwa chama yake, amekubali, ametuadopt sisi ambao tuchaguliwa katika chama cha Jubilee, amekubali tufanye kazi pamoja, na huo ndio ukweli wa mambo. Sisi ndio sauti ya watu, sisi ambao tuko ndani ya bunge. Kwa hivyo mnaweza sikia makelele kule ndani nje, lakini sauti ya ukweli ni ile ambayo imepatiwa uwezo ule kupitia kura. Na sasa kwanza sisi tumepatiwa kupitia kura na koti imesema hivyo ndivyo ilivyo.
Participated in a massive water bribery and in support thereof offered evidence by witnesses all who claimed to had received and accepted money from the persons they considered agents of the third respondent. But as submitted by the respondent's advocate, none of those witnesses made any report to the police or to the officials of the first respondents. Neither did any of the petitioner's agents, who were all present at those polling stations, made any complaint to the petitioner himself, who in his evidence in chief stated that he had given that responsibility to his chief agent, thereby contradicting the evidence of some of these witnesses who alleged to have called him. Even if the court were to take the petitioner's word that he honestly believed that he was winning the election and therefore might not have taken the issue seriously, it is of note that even after the results were announced, he did not raise any objection to the outcome thereof on account of the alleged voter bribery. In this day and age of smartphones, the court is at a loss as to why none of the petitioner's witnesses who alleged to have witnesses and participated in voter bribery did not see the need to take any photographs of the alleged voter bribery and illegal meetings which were being done by the third respondent. From the evidence on record, all the petitioner's witnesses were in one accord that the act of voter bribery took place outside the polling stations and that they had no evidence to prove that those who gave them the money were agents or acted on behalf of the third respondents. Him running with the police after him. There is no eyewitnesses who saw him at the polling stations, and further, there is no evidence tendered to show that there was any collusion between the third respondent and the security forces, or that they were under his control. I further looked at the evidence of PW8, whose testimony was that she was carrying on her person a total sum of Kenya shillings 21,000. Yet she wants the court to believe her that she took a bribe of Kenya shillings 200. Most of the petitioner witnesses confirmed that they were engaged in economic activities, which makes it hard for the court to understand why they would take as little as 100, which some of them alleging to have traveled long distance so as to receive that little sum of money. PW 10's evidence was contradictory in material particulars, while PW11, who alleged to have been with him, denied having seen the famous Steve, who was at all polling stations giving out money. PW12 evidence did not corroborate the evidence of PW10, while PW16 evidence is clearly an afterthought, as out of the petitioner's 21 or so witnesses, he is the only one who attempted to take photographic evidence, only to find the subject having evaporated into thin air, thereby missing the vital chain in the link of the petitioner's case. Inasmuch as the same is at the discretion of the court, and that in awarding or disallowing costs, the court must be guided by the principle of fairness, justice, and need to advance access to justice. The petitioner honestly believed that he was the most popular candidate who had aligned himself with a party which eventually won the presidential election, and therefore could not understand how he lost, but that is the nature of elections. There must be winners and losers. Having taken into account the time taken by the parties to prepare for this election petition and to prosecute the same with the timeline set by the court, I will award the respondent's cost to be taxed but capped at a maximum sum of Kenya shillings 2,500,000, of which the first respondent, being the constitutional body mandated to conduct the election and which is funded by the taxpayers, including the petitioner, shall be entitled to a cost not exceeding Kenya shillings 500,000, and the third respondent not exceeding Kenya shillings 2 million. Having found that there were no irregularities of criminal nature proved, I decline to make an order thereon to the Director of Public Prosecution and direct the Deputy Registrar of the Court to issue the requisite certificate to the Commission and the Speaker of the National Assembly on the validity of the election of the third respondent, with the necessary copies to the offices as required under Section 86 of the Election Act, and it is ordered. This judgment does not deal with all the evidence or arguments by the parties before it in verbatim, but its focus is on deciding the pleaded issues and upon explaining my reasoning as economically as possible for the decision reached, noting that the law requires that it must be determined within 6 months from the date of declaration, and that is the judgment of the court.